Howdy fellas, I hope you're doing well in this awful weather we've had here lately. It's warmed up a little bit today. It's almost freezing, the sun's shining for now. Hopefully we won't get anything else. Power company, I want to say a thank you to them. They've done a wonderful job around here. I think there's 45, maybe 50 people out in the whole system right now. I think right now what they've got off is stuff that they've turned off so they could fix some little minor things to keep the power going. But anyway, I hope you're doing well and staying warm. The other day we talked about drill bit sizes for making loading blocks for your muzzleloading rifle. And with this weather being like it is, and that's part of the joy or the fun of the black powder hobby, is doing stuff, making your own things. Over time I've made several powder measures, and this is just an example of one of them. It's a 30 grain powder measure that I made from deer antler that I've collected or people have given to me over the years. And I've talked about this before, but I thought I'd talk about in this one how you go about doing that. What I do is I take a adjustable powder measure like this one. You can adjust it with on the side. I got it set right now for 65 grains. So what I'll do is I'll take a 3/8 inch drill bit, which you hope you can see that on camera. That's pretty much about the size of the inside of that powder measure, and I'll put it down to the bottom where it's set for 65 grains. And I'll take a piece of masking tape and mark it right there. And then I'll put that in my drill bit. And you want to try to, if you can, if your supply allows you to, use as straight a piece of deer antlers you have. Now this one is curved a little bit and it's pretty thick. So as you can see, you put that on there and you've got quite a bit of room on each side of that drill bit when you get it centered up. So you kind of watch what you're doing and try to drill as straight as possible and allow for that curve when you can. But being that thick, you can probably drill a hole that far down in it and still be okay. So once you've done that and get it cleaned out real good, if you don't want to use black powder, you can take something like cornmeal, which is going to be about the same consistency as 2F, 3F powder. Put some in your measure and try it in your what you just made. Now a lot of times, because the drill bit, the way it's made, you may have to go back here and drill just a little bit further, but you can get it close enough where it'll throw close to 60, 65 grains, whatever that you want to make that powder measure out of. And then you can take your files or belt sander or whatever, and if you want to shape that down a little bit on the outside to make it look better or whatever, you can do that. But there's an idea for something you can make on your own. Now I have in the past, I've taken a piece of deer antler, and I've showed this before, but I'll show it again. And I got this is actually a finial, I guess you call it, for a powder horn. But you can unscrew it, and it's got a little place on the end you can hang your strap on, or whatever, your string. And I also got a little pan charger nozzle for it. It'll dispense about 3 grains, I believe it is, every time you push down on it. But what I did, I took the right size drill bit. I don't remember what it was. This was the smallest of those finials. And I drilled down in there a pretty good ways till I thought I was about where I needed to be. Then I found a drill bit the size I needed for the nozzle. And I drilled a hole to intersect with that other one. And then I kind of dressed it up with a file, sandpaper, and what have you. You know, your imagination's a limit on something like that. And I also made another one. In fact, this is supposed to screw out right here, but I got epoxy on it when I put it down in there. I made another one. This one doesn't have the finial on it. What I did, I drilled a hole in it as far as I thought I needed to go, and then I got another one of these little funnels, drilled a hole for it, But I made be really sure that I did not get glue in those threads this time, so I could take that out and fill it from that end. It doesn't hold a lot of powder. I think it may hold 50 grains of 4F powder, which that will be plenty for like a squirrel hunt, something like that, or as far as that goes, your flintlock on a deer hunt if you had to reload. I think this one holds well over 100, maybe close to 150 right off the top of my head. I don't remember, but that's some more things you can make out of your antler supply. And as well, you can take those antler tips or the smaller pieces and make you, I don't know if you can see that, but make you a vent pick out of it. That probe or wire on that is actually a blowgun dart that I took off. I drilled a 1/16 inch hole in the end of that as far as I thought I needed to be, and epoxied it, which that dart shank is a little bit smaller than 1/16. But what you do, you take that and clamp it in whatever you're going to hold it in, like your vise, and try to get it just as straight as you can. Let that epoxy set up, and if it's just a little bit crooked, you can reach up there. This is flexible enough you can bend it. Now also I've taken pieces of knife scales that I've cut off and trimmed before, and took them, and I actually took a piece of wore out belt or a piece of belt off a belt sander and shaped those things down a little bit, and done the same thing with a dart tip, and put it down in there, and I sanded and stained and put true oil on that right there. But that's just some of the things you can home make for yourself in the off season and the bad weather like we've had here lately to keep you occupied and busy. But anyway, like I said, I hope you're staying warm and safe and dry. I appreciate you watching, commenting, and subscribing. God bless you. Keep your powder dry. Mind your top knot, builder.